Good, well, I couldn't even speak then. Good morning. That teaches me for eating no chocolate just before I do a video. I put my posh voice on slightly as well. Yes, so I'm hungry and I need some energy and I'm feeling tired, so I've gone and got some chocolate, no problem. It's the morning and my metabolism is climbing in the daytime, so it's not a problem. Do that. Bacon and eggs, probably. You just eat the blooming 6 eggs and all the bacon, just get it out of the fridge, you're fed up. It'll go off soon, so I might as well eat it. And that should set me up for the day. And right, so tips on OMAD. Things I've discovered. You need to kick it off with a dry fast. It's the most effective way of doing it. If you went from food to water fasting, what might happen is that you'll just dilute the food in your guts and things in there, and your body will filter it out as a meal. It needs to work to separate it out. Your blood still needs to take that water places. You need to hydrate your cells with it. So what it's going to do is it'll either slow down the process, or it won't allow you to go across into your ketogenic phase. So ideally what you want to do is start your fast in the afternoon. Just don't have any fluids. If you're planning a good fast, I don't have any fluids in the afternoon. And get it round. So say it's 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock. I've stopped taking any fluids or eating. Nothing's going to enter the body. I said, right, nothing's happening now. So then what you do is when you hit the night time, that will be combined with it, and that will give you the dry fast, because your body needs to get into a certain mode. It's like being in a gear. I need to get to a certain acceleration. I need to get to a certain velocity before I change gears. And if I'm somewhere in the middle, I'm not quite there. So it's it takes a little bit longer to get into that mode. I mean, I think so, because weight loss, it will change anyway, water weight and other variants in there. Like today, it's sort of like 2 pound lighter than 17 stone, and it's been sort of hanging around that bit for a while. However, I have been drinking quite regularly, and I don't ever be fussy about the type of tea I've been drinking. I just haven't had any sugar in it. I try to put my sugars into one. If I decide to have a refeed and have some sugars, it's best just put them in one go. A bit like this, I'm going to put all this sugar in. My body's only going to take so much. The rest of it might probably get combined into a blooming feces and slowly absorb through the body. So it's not ideal. That's why it might leave me still hungry for a while afterwards. But if I blast it with the eggs and the bacon, it's shove it into an hour or so window. And then I can drink as much fluid as I want as well. If I want to partially flush it through me or dilute it. So where I've had a lot of sugars, I've suddenly just diluted them and spread them out. I'd imagine it's more difficult for the acids. Your body might filter it different. That's how it works. Because you imagine it all coming into your stomach. How does your body process it? Yeah. How does this energy come in, sort of thing. So, will it take a while for the body to build up enough acid to break it down, or is that not an issue? When does the body know when to sort of send it further on down the colon? However, the colon itself, I mean, if you've ever done a salt flush or have diarrhoea, the reason you've got diarrhoea is because your body's got rid of it before it's sucked all the juice out of it. So it turns it into a mushy mess, and then it sucks the juice out of it, and then it refirms it up, and it's back into a turd basically, and then you pass it through. So the harder the turd is, longer it's been through your stomach, and also it's been more processed basically. So if your poos are quite sloppy, they've had less time being processed, and that could be because they were a sloppy material anyway. let's say you've had some kind of loose plant-based material or something. So you had something like porridge or something. It's not going to have very much structure to it, so it might be less. And then there's other things to note, things you can't digest so well because you're passing them out, like things like peanuts and stuff. You may need to grind them down a bit more, or what are you eating them with? Maybe you're better off cooking them. You know, you can put them in a curry or meal or something, or even soak them. I've come across things about soaking the seeds. It helps to sort of break them down, and they go for a different phase. Because when they're as hard as a rock, it's because they're dehydrated, basically. So if you've got something that's dehydrated out of your body, you probably just want to come out the other side. There's a bit of roughage or something. So anything else? Yeah, I posted the letter, this no contact thing. I've decided to post. I guess it's a mutual invitation letter or something. I don't know what you could call it, but it's not threatening. Oh, so that's a good point. Yeah, that's fine. I think no. Oh, no, it's coming. I'm trying to. Basically, no, I should have done that because there's another lane to my left, and there I am flashing to say she can go. She could get in my lane though. I wouldn't mind if she blocks my lane, because then the other car would know that they coming down. They got to let her in. Anyway, yeah. So I just put the letter. So it's not one of these. It's no lovey-doveyness. It's just straightforward. We'll go out for a coffee. We'll grab a movie. You know, just a bit of fun. Just go out have some fun, basically. And even if we can't be friends, it'd be still nice to meet up, you know, just to have a catch up and enjoy the night. I mean, I'm not going to say, oh well, you said this, you did that, because there's no point. There's no point, because she ain't got a memory like I have. In the same way, I've got to come across here. Let them all go across, am I? Yeah, because I remember everything. I remember these pointless details. Some things about my own life I don't remember, other people I do. And so this particular person I remember probably a lot of detail into the conversations. Lots of things that I guess I don't think she would have of me, but that's just the way I am, really. I'm analytical, and I went for a phase where I became more analytical because I was trying to help her out. So yeah, anyway, I guess I've hung up on it. It's just I've gone through this weird phase where I felt like kind of like a homesick feeling recently. Like I wouldn't mind seeing her or find out what she's up to, but I'm not kind of going to be like hanging around looking for her or anything stupid like that. I've gone to places where I know she goes, but I know she's not there at them times. I've deliberately done that so I could be seen, and people would say, you know, if I come up in conversation and say, yeah, I saw him the other day actually, he looks like he's lost some weight or whatever. So I put myself in a kind of good spot, or he seems relaxed. Because if she's got this impression, it's a snapshot. If the snapshot impression is that he was acting very needy, he was acting a bit unbalanced in some way, he was making me feel uncomfortable because he felt like he was demanding. You know, I wasn't demanding a relationship or anything. I was just trying to deal with self-emotional anxieties. But that also triggers anxieties in the other person if you're trying to kind of diffuse a situation or find a way to reach out, and it hasn't had a period of settling, basically. You've still got the cortisol levels through the roof and everyone's on guard, and then they're only remembering things that they got from threatening them. I got my chocolate. I got my drink as well. I'm gonna have enough time to eat my chocolate. And some of these actually, that's a cheap brand of energy drink. It's like a Happy Shopper. But the ingredients, they don't hide them, they just write them on there. So it doesn't look like it's got too much crap in it, basically. Because I'm a bit more ethical. So yeah, but so yeah, so I just felt like homesick. I've kind of ignored her for, done a no contact, all that stuff. I've I've sent a letter just to sort of apologise and draw a line under it. Really, that was about 3 months ago, maybe 2 or 3 months ago. Yeah, about 2 months ago. Some point in April, I think. Yeah, and so if I send it today, it'll be sort of getting closer to probably end of the week, to be honest. But then the next following week gets another part of the month, another month, and chugs along. But weather's getting warmer as well, and I just think it'd be nice to sort of meet up if she's up for it. And I've been very clear. I've thrown all the power into her ring, So when you're free, if you want to, sort of thing. Well, if you're free, we could go out. I said when I'm free. So I'm free sort of Friday night. Friday nights are quite good for me. Maybe in July. So I've given her an extra month on top of that. There's no pressure. So if I said, "Oh, I'm free Friday night," let's meet up. It'd be sort of so direct, and let's meet up. Let's meet up next week. It'd be like, what? It's all the threat. You raise at the bar. At least you can process it over time. And I've also scripted it in a way that I've used a different style of writing, because you've got to be progressive and keep adapting. So hopefully it's not harder for to read. It's joined up, so there's synergy I'm creating. What's that? Oh, some sort of weird alarm. So create a kind of synergy in the writing. However, it can be more difficult for some people to process words. But what you want to avoid is things like massive capitalisation of letters and things. Just make sure it's clear and legible, and keep it really simple. That was so any communication gets less and less, and it's it's like a paragraph really. So literally, you open the letter, and there's no folding involved. You just pull it out. It's like a card, and it's almost, and it just says sort of says, "Dear something." I won't say her name, and basically, I was just wondering if you'd like to come out for a drink, and well, not come out for a coffee, I said, and a movie, and sort of we could go to such and such. And so it's almost like you get for a birthday invitation or something. It's quite simple. And then also the outcome is that it doesn't matter if you couldn't be friends. It'd just be nice to meet, because it kind of clears up the loose ends. There's loose ends in my head. I'm not looking to talk about them, but the loose ends is that somebody has an impression that's kind of negative of you, and it just feels a bit weird. It feels weird because I haven't actually spoken in person. So I think I avoid email communications in the future. It's just kind of toxic, emails. They don't work so well. It seems like I don't express myself well enough in the emails, or I put too much feeling in there, and it gets messy. It's alright if somebody's on the same page, but if they're not, it's quite screwed up. I sometimes think back to somebody that wrote to me ages ago, and she seemed to be quite loved up, but I never knew if it was like a scam or not. Just that she used to write massive letters every day. I used to write it to her, and it was my brother, and he said, it's not, because I said, well, what are you doing? You're spending like hours writing some letter to this woman. That was nice, and he said, it's not real. You don't get that involved. And I sort of like, it was a bullet actually. I needed someone to lean on emotionally to communicate with, and it kind of shut me down. Like, I think maybe I shouldn't just bother. And so she wrote this like passionate letter and stuff, and I thought I took a step back. I didn't write to her for a day, and then she wrote to me, well, why haven't you written to me, sort of thing. And I said, well, I just been a bit busy, and and then she said something and said, well, sorry, I don't really feel the same at the moment. I felt a bit numb, to be honest. But in some ways, I wish I kind of pushed myself into just meeting up and getting to spend time with her, if she was real. But then, who knows if she was. The problem was I didn't use this email account for ages, and then they just wiped all my mail. So when I went into it a year later, there was no mail in it. It's just like, whoa. And so that was a bit weird. And also I couldn't search her name. Name wouldn't come up on the email. So yeah, is it Anastasia was her name? Valentina or something. Valentina. But it's all gone. Maybe she just closed her account and that. If she was real, but I went on for a site called Face Party. I see that it still exists. I put a picture of me with a tie on, and they said they closed my account. They said it's not a job interview, you know. They closed it. It's like, what? I just started messing around with pictures. So it's quite interesting. But you get some randomers. I might go on there before. There was like a few monsters on there as well. There's a woman, she wouldn't show her face, but when I found out her face, she literally had no neck. And she was a little very needy. She said, oh, well, could you leave me your number? And then within 30 seconds, she called me. She called me up or sent me some message. It's like, what? We literally just stopped communicating. I given you a number and then you run and phoned me. So I thought, my goodness, you got to give it a little bit of a break. It's nice when people are keen on you, but you want them to be keen and then be able to relax. And I think there's sort of, what do they call it, mouth towel, these are sorts of, I was watching some videos go banging on about it. It depends on where you are, how women react. If they're used to being hit on quite a bit by guys, they can be a bit cold towards them, or they've got a bit more of a defence. They're very quick to read people's micro-signals and emotions. See, I tried to mask myself from the other relationship, how I felt, and I think it worked. I wasn't giving so much eye contact. I was trying to avoid a relationship, to be honest. But then it was like she upped her game. She like this. I don't know if I mentioned. She sort of wear this see-through dress one day. I thought she was wearing a 90. She's getting ready to go out, and I thought, whoa. And then I sat in the chair, and then she sort of bent over double in front of me, and I was thinking, it's a bit odd. Okay. It's just a bit unusual because we were very aware of their body, what they'll be wearing and what they're doing, so I think she was just teasing me. But then there's this other stuff, this hypergamy stuff, so she might have been doing it in more of a subconscious. She thought, oh, this looks a nice dress, but not thinking of the actual impact. Chemically, biologically, her womb in essence was saying, yeah, wear this attract him in. So it's looking for eligible males. It's just that time. It's no different than a guy. Guys they evaluate at most women. That's why they say, oh, they're always thinking about sex. No, it's probably because the hormones, they peak at certain points of the day. So maybe midday, the morning, definitely made them more frisky, but they're never really at night. This is what's quite interesting with the why they have sex at night. You just basically, and then they've got to fall asleep afterwards because they've literally blown all their hormonal levels through the roof. And so they become subdued. So it's quite weird when you do that. Anyway, this is Pigsy signing off, and speak to you soon.